Hey, what's going on, Vikings fans? This is Skol back again with another Minnesota Vikings video. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Minnesota Vikings and the Super Bowl. This is something we don't really talk about a lot. We're always talking about like the OC, film, what's going on in this season. But I wanted to actually take a second and look how far are the Vikings away from winning the Super Bowl. And let me tell you this is not me being biased. This is me just looking at the Vikings team as I was evaluating a team going into the next couple of years, short window. How far were they away from winning the Super Bowl on what I think wins in the NFL? Basically that. And let me tell you this, guys, the Vikings are not that far, and that's what we'll be talking to you guys about in this video. We should be very optimistic, especially with this upcoming year as Vikings fans. I think this team has a load of talent, and I do think they have a chance to make a run even next year. That's what we're talking about in this video. If you guys are new here, like, subscribe, comment. You guys know what to do. Hit 1K. Thank you guys so much. Anyways, daily Vikings takes are coming now since we are in off-season mode. Anyways, the Vikings are not that far off from making and winning a Super Bowl. Let's talk about it right now. All right, so obviously this is fresh off of me watching Super Bowl 55, Chiefs, Bucks. And if you guys didn't watch the game, I mean, I know a lot of the press is going to definitely go towards, Brady and him winning his 7th. And everybody thinks Brady's a god, and he is a god. I mean, he has more rings than any other NFL franchise. I mean, that is just absolutely incredible. But the story of that game was the trenches. The story of that game was won with those 10 guys in the middle of the field. 5v5, like whatever it is. Like, the game was won in the trenches. Listen, Mahomes was pressured, I think it was 40-something times, the most in Super Bowl history in one game. And Brady was pressured, I think, 4. That big of a gap between just pressures, a stat nobody really talks about unless it's like that big of a difference. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, if Mahomes would have somehow won that game with that stat remaining the same, with him having over 40 pressures and Brady having under, I think he had 6 maybe, so under 10. 6 or 4, it was one of those two. And he would have won that game, I would have probably called that the best quarterback performance I've ever seen in my life. I mean, he was running from his life. I mean, those dudes on Tampa Bay, they just know how to get after the quarterback. Tampa Bay just dropped their 2 safeties back in coverage, and it was pretty simple to take away Tyreek Hill, especially when Mahomes has no time. I mean, it was just a simple sit back and cover 2. Safeties don't creep up no matter what unless they start running the ball, and the Chiefs refuse to do that. That was kind of the game plan, but they had those elite pass rushers, and that's huge in winning a Super Bowl. Nowadays in the NFL, considering you have all these elite, fast, mobile quarterbacks, you're going to need your DNs to be athletic and be able to get to the quarterback. Now, back to the Vikings. Obviously, we know the Vikings only had 23 sacks last year as an entire team, which is goddamn awful. Jared Allen that one year had around 20-something. I mean, that just shows, how bad they were. I mean, Everson and Daniil probably combined for over 23, every single year they've been in the league. Now, I think the Vikings, if you're looking at them right now, the first thing they need to do is get that D-line right. And I've just seen it the past 2 years. I've seen it with the 49ers, with what they did with Bosa, Buckner, and all of them 2 years ago. That D-line carried them to the Super Bowl. And then you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year. You look at you look at JPP. You look at Shaq Barrett. You look at Ndamukong Suh, Vita Vea. Their D-line carried them to the Super Bowl. I know Brady deserves a ton of credit, and that offense was really good for Tampa Bay with the running game and all that. But that D-line was the catalyst. I've seen it back-to-back years, and I think Spielman understands that. And the reason I say that is because he went and tried to get Yannick Ngakoue, another D-lineman, and he tried to have him and Daniil be those two. So listen, I think D-line is probably the second most important position group on an NFL team. I know that's a hot take. I think it goes quarterback, D-line, O-line. That's where I'm at. And you can disagree with me, but I really believe the D-line is the most important. So Vikings, D-line last year, I've been saying this, it was the worst in the NFL. We need to somehow turn that worst to top 5. And I think they can. And that's the craziest thing. They have potential to do it. You're getting Daniil Hunter. He'll lock down the left or right end, wherever they want to put him. Michael Pierce in the middle to be the Vita Vea, to be the big run stopper that we need. Then we got this young guy named DJ Wonnum. Then we got this great role player in Ifedi. Do I think that's enough? No. I think the Vikings should take an edge in round 1. There's this guy from Michigan that I'm looking at, I forget his name, but this edge rusher from Michigan, I think he might be the best pick at 14. Now, I know I've been saying, they for sure need to go trenches. I would lead offense. I'm starting to lean more towards the defense, mainly because I think the Vikings offense is fine. I just think us as fans, we expect so much from this talented group. But I really think if they could stack that D-line and be able to consistently put pressure on it. I mean, could you imagine if we had a first-round rookie next to Daniil Hunter and Michael Pierce, guys like Wonham developing, guys like Ifedi still developing? I mean, we would have an incredible D-line. That would fix that. Then you also need linebackers that can move. We've seen that with Devin White in Tampa Bay. We got Eric Kendricks. You need safeties over the top who are going to be disciplined. And that's Harrison Smith and Anthony Harris. I don't know what they'll do with Anthony Harris. We might need to draft a young guy. But we saw Antoine Winfield Jr., our boy, he went off in Tampa Bay as a rookie. It's not impossible to replace that. And then you need corners that do at least enough. I think with Gladney and Dancer developing, I think the Vikings defense could be really a top 10 unit next year. Now, obviously, they got a defensive head coach. I think Zimmer will be able to out-scheme a lot of guys. Obviously, sometimes he does get beat, but if he has his whole group, he's got all of his boys, I'll trust in Zim. You got to have a top 10, top 5 defense to win in the NFL, especially nowadays, and that needs to be a lot on the D-line. The Vikings can do that this offseason. Now, other side of the football, you are going to need a top 10 offense. The Vikings, first off, already have a top 10 offense, but they need to get it more consistent. Vikings are too much, up here, down here. And that's what the Chiefs were, but we don't have Mahomes. Vikings need to even that out and be more consistent. I think that starts with a guard play. I'm fine with the Vikings being run first. I just want them to get more creative on third down. You get a better guard, I would, do you know the amount of times the Vikings ran the ball on 3rd and 1 this year? It was pretty obvious. However, if we had an all-pro guard and Dalvin Cook, that means Bradbury, because guards help centers a lot. I wouldn't even be that mad at running the ball. It's just it was a personnel thing. But if we boost up the interior and boost up the trenches, I would be fine with sticking with the offense we have. I think it would then produce points. And then also we've seen it in the playoffs. Tight ends are a huge thing. Vikings have 2 great tight ends, both young guys in Irv and Conklin. Then we're also explosive on the outside with our receivers. Listen, I think the Vikings, their number one thing if they want to win a Super Bowl is bolster the D-line. Get back to the purple people eaters. Get back to that identity, smash mouth football that we had in 2017. Everybody's so involved in finding this one quarterback, finding the next Mahomes. We just saw Mahomes get held scoreless in touchdowns. Bolster the defense. Defensive football is not dead in the NFL. I hate this notion that people are like, you need to have the best quarterback, you need to have the best offense, you need to have this, that'll carry you. No, go get a D-line that can shut down, a Josh Allen, a Deshaun Watson, a Patrick Mahomes, a Kyler Murray. These young guys, get these fast, athletic DNs to go chase them around. That's what I think. I think Vikings are close if they follow this game plan that I'm laying out. Anyways, let me know what you think. Like the video, comment down below. I want to know what you guys think. Vikings trying to win a Super Bowl. What are you doing first? Are you bolstering D-line? Are you going O-line? Or what are you doing? Are you drafting a receiver? Let me know. I want to hear what you guys think. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Leave a like on the video, comment down below. See you guys next time. Sub for more. Skol, Vikes.